Welcome into this video. I would like to take you through how you can file for your employment income tax return in case you are a civil servant in Kenya. So that means that you are employed by the government, that is ranging from TSC or any public servant. So what you can identify is that your PIN and form usually look slightly different compared to people in the private sector based on the availability of data which is provided in those PIN and form. So with not much ado, let us get started. So what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to enter your iTax PIN in the KRA portal. So you just need to head into the iTax portal and enter your KRA PIN. So this is my TIN number. Then you need to hit continue. Then you need to enter your password and you need to do a simple mathematical computation here, which is giving me a value of 37. Then you need to log in. So when you sign in, you need to come to where we have return and then come to where we have file return. Then you need to choose the tax obligation is income tax resident individual. Then you need to click next. Then you can notice I had already filed. So in your case, this sheet will be showing original, but in my case, it is demonstrating a method. But you can either use two methods. You can download the auto-populated ITR, which is pre-populated with the data in the PIN and form. Or alternatively, you can use the traditional Excel method and populate this sheet. But these are more or less the same, but when you use the auto-populated ITR, you need to ensure that the details which are auto-populated in the auto-populated ITR technically correlate with the variables in your PIN and form. But to make this video more accurate, I'll just use the Excel sheet, which is not pre-populated, so that we can fill the detail from the PIN and form the way it looks like, since that is your only defense. So what we need to do basically, so just get back again into my File Explorer after downloading this sheet and get to where I have that Excel sheet which I have downloaded. What I'll do, I'll just click above that Excel sheet and then come to where we have properties and then come to where we have unblock. Then I'll apply and I'll click OK. Then from there, I need to come here above that Excel sheet and I need to extract the values in those Excel sheets. So the reason why I have done that is to avoid macros problem. That's why I have used that procedure. Then you need to come above that Excel sheet. Just click above it. Then come to where we have open with. So just choose to open with Office Excel. So kindly don't use WPS Office since you get into a lot of problems. So just use the Excel format. So when I use the Excel format, so the Excel sheet has opened. So what I'll do, I just enable edit the content. When I enable edit the content, this Excel sheet document will populate here. So what we need to do, we need to populate details in this Excel sheet. So this is the latest version. So what I'll do, I'll just enter my personal KRA PIN here, the personal identification number. Then you need to populate the return type. So in your case, it will be original. Then you need to enter the return period. So in this scenario, we are dealing with the return period dating back from 1st January. From 1st January 2025, from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2025. Then you need, in case you have any other income which originate from your services as a public servant, maybe you had some income originating from consulting services which you incurred from other industries or which you offer to other industries, more so people who have law firms. So you can come here and declare other income. So when you click here, you get an additional P&L form and a balance sheet which you need to populate with other income which was subject to withholding tax as a rate of 5%. But when it comes to interest which is originating from treasury bills and board, you are not bound by law to declare it since the 15% which is deducted is usually a final tax. So to continue with this video, you need to enter the employment income. So that is the income which originated from your employment. So to do that, you need to enter the employer's TIN number. So you notice I'll get back into my PIN and form and the employer TIN number is here, which is P05. So I need to make it bigger so that we can see clearly. So let me make it bigger and then deal above. So okay, so I can make it larger, like a value of 100, so that we can see. So the TIN number of the employer is P0510. So I need to populate here, which is P05 Let me make it a cap, which is P05 10 P05 10 10 9808 9808 9808 9808 9808 4N. Then I put 4N. So this PIN form originates from TSC, but that is how technically all the PIN form originating from civil service usually look like, or public service. So I need to enter the name of the employer is the teachers. It is. So the name of the employer, you can just get it from your PIN form to make it clear. So you need to come here and check the employer's name. So the employer's name is the Teachers Service Commission. So I just come here and enter the Teachers Service Commission. So just come here and populate it. So which is the Teachers Service Commission. Then you need to enter the gross pay. So this is where the difference usually originates from. So you can notice in the civil service, the gross pay is usually taken as the taxable pay. So this is the amount of the gross pay, which is equivalent to the taxable pay, which is 503,848. 503,848. So it is 503,848. Then you need to enter the allowance benefits. So this employee is not provided with allowance and benefit from employment other than current housing. So just put value 0. The net value of housing, I'll just populate value 0. And then I would read back to where I have total income. So the total income is equal to the amount of the gross income which I have declared, because this employee doesn't have any other allowances originating from that employment income or the employment offer. So from that method, you are already done with the employment income. So we need to drill and come to where we have the details of the pay deducted. So you just populate the PIN of the employer. Just click this drill down arrow and the PIN will populate here. The name of the employee, you can come and take it from the employment sheet, which we had because we had already populated the name of the employee. You can just come here, highlight it, copy it, and bring it here, and in the M detail end, basically paste that amount. So you need to populate also the taxable salary. So the taxable salary from this space. So I need to come here at the P9 form, and you notice that the taxable salary is the amount which is here, which they are calling the taxable pay. So in civil service, the taxable pay and the gross salary, they are always equal. But when you get to the private sector, you get these taxable pay being referred as these chargeable pay, or taxable salary be referred as chargeable pay. So you just input this value of 511,848. So just come here and input that value of 503,848 if I'm not wrong. Let me confirm. 503,848 is correct. Then you need to get the tax payable on taxable salary. So to get the tax payable on taxable salary, what are we supposed to do? So to get that, you need to get the summation. So let me get into my calculator and do the summation. You need to get the summation of the monthly personal relief of 28,800 added to, summed with the amount of pay, with the pay amount, with the pay amount of the pay value of 42,137, 42,137, 42,137. So I need to gross it to 42,137.70. So when you do the summation of these two, you are getting a value of 37.70. So you just bring this amount in these Excel sheets here and populate it here. Then this amount, you need to enter the actual amount of pay. So let's populate the pay amount. So the pay amount was this amount of 42,137, which is also what we have used the calculator to get the tax payable on taxable salary. So this is this value of 42 and 37. So I need to come here and populate this value here, 42 137, 42 137.70. So you notice that the difference between this and this gives you the annual tax refundable or the annual tax relief of 28,800. This is the allowance which you are given by government. So from them, you go ahead to T computation. So under the T computation, what you're supposed to populate, you're supposed to populate the defined pension contribution. So this is the actual amount from this. So the amount is here. So this is the actual amount which this individual contributed to the pension scheme of 32,988. 32,988. So you just need to come here and populate it here. So it is 988.90, 988.90. So, and then we get the amount of affordable housing levy which was contributed to the scheme. So the amount of the affordable housing levy, as you know, we can be able to calculate it though it has not been given in this P9 form. That's why I said the civil servant P9 form technically seems to be slightly different as compared to that of the people working in the private sector, since it contains a lot of data. So what I need to do, I need to get into my calculator again, and we need to get the 15%. So that is 0.015 of the gross income or the taxable pay, which was of let me clear and do something. So we need to take 15% of 503,848. So let me ensure I'm writing the correct value. 848 multiplied by 0.015, giving us a value of 757.72. So just copy this value and populate it in the Excel sheet here. Let me come here and populate it here. Then I need to come here and enter the value of the shift. So to get the value of the shift, what I'm supposed to do, I need to take 275% of this amount. So let me come here and take 503,848 multiplied by 0.0275, give me the value of shift as 13,855.80. So just copy this and come into the Excel sheet and populate it here. And after that, when I come to here, so I'm required to pay a tax of 1,296. In case you are good with it and you want to file this liability, and this is what I'm told I am liable to pay. So what I will do, basically, I will just come here and go ahead and validate my sheet. So let me validate. So as it is validating, in case you have any query on how you can file your income tax return, in case you have even withholding tax or income originating from other services, you can reach me using the contact in the description, or also using my email, and we can have discussion about it at a fair fee. So as it is validating, we should just give a time to continue validating the sheet. But that is how technically the P9 form originating from public sector usually differ from the normal P9 forms, and that is the method which you'll be using in case you experience that scenario. So don't worry, that is what you'll be doing and going forward. So that is the P9 form from the public sector. You can notice that it is slightly different. No, we don't have a lot of details about it, so it is just side details which you need to work with and populate. But in case you'll be using the auto-populated ITR, kindly ensure that what is in the Excel sheet and the PIN form technically correlate, or they are the same, since sometimes the auto-populated sheet, they seem to be different. So just click yes. So what you need to know where the document is being saved, the time and the date, and it have been saved as ITR zip. So just click OK. So you go ahead to your iTax portal. You should just choose the return period, which is from 1st January 2025 to 31st. I have already filed that, so it's giving me that pop-up, to 31st December 2025. Then you choose the file, which we have downloaded from the document. So it is under the document. So this is the file at 452. Then you need to come here, and you are being asked if you have rental property. In my case, it's no. Then you need to agree, and then you go ahead and click submit. So that is the procedure. So in case you have any query regarding VAT, income tax, withholding tax, and also purchase of treasury bills and board, you can reach me using the contacts in the description. So thank you for watching and have a nice day ahead.